Can you imagine buying a house with Pi? Picture this. You walk up to your dream home, keys in hand, and instead of signing a stack of paperwork or wiring traditional money, you simply transfer Pi from your digital wallet. The process is smooth, instant, and secure. No banks, no middlemen, just you and the future of finance. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but with the rapid pace of technological change, this could soon be our reality. What about a luxury car? Imagine stepping into a high-end showroom, falling in love with a sleek new vehicle, and paying for it with Pi. No need to wait for loan approvals or deal with complicated paperwork. The transaction happens in seconds, and you drive away in your new car, knowing you've just made history by using a digital currency that's changing the way we think about money. $1 million Pi transaction might seem crazy right now, but is it really that far-fetched? Think about how quickly technology has transformed our lives in just the past decade. 10 years ago, few people believed cryptocurrencies would be more than a passing trend. Now digital assets are traded globally, and some are even used to buy real estate, art, and more. The idea of using Pi for large purchases is bold, but not impossible. As Pi network grows and evolves, it's exciting to think about the future of this digital currency. Every day, more people join the network, more businesses start to accept Pi, and the technology behind it becomes more robust. The community is passionate, innovative, and determined to push the boundaries of what's possible. The world is watching, and the potential is enormous. Could Pi one day handle these kinds of big transactions? The answer depends on how the network develops, how secure and scalable it becomes, and how much trust it earns from users and businesses alike. If Pi can prove itself as a reliable, efficient, and widely accepted currency, there's no reason why it couldn't be used for major purchases, just like dollars, euros, or Bitcoin today. Let's dive in and explore this possibility. We'll look at the technology, the community, and the real-world use cases that could make Pi a household name. We'll also consider the challenges ahead: regulation, adoption, and the need for ongoing innovation. The journey won't be easy, but every great achievement starts with a bold idea and a dedicated team. Right now, Pi is still finding its footing. It's in the early stages, building its foundation, and working to prove its value to the world. The team behind Pi is focused on creating a secure, user-friendly platform that can scale to meet the demands of millions of users. There's a lot of work to be done, but the vision is clear. It's like a young athlete with a lot of potential but hasn't quite hit their stride yet. The talent is there, the drive is there, and the support from the community is growing every day. With the right training, guidance, and a bit of luck, Pi could break records and achieve things no one thought possible. But with hard work and the right conditions, Pi could become a major player in the world of cryptocurrency. The future is unwritten, and the possibilities are endless. So, is buying a house or a luxury car with Pi a dream or a reality? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the journey is just beginning, and it's going to be an exciting ride. Imagine this. You're standing in front of a stunning, ultra-modern mansion, the kind of home that turns heads and makes you dream big. The real estate agent is about to hand you the keys, but instead of writing a check or wiring funds from your bank, you're about to pay for this $1 million property entirely in Pi cryptocurrency. No cash, no traditional banks, just a digital wallet and a groundbreaking transaction that could change the way we think about buying real estate. It almost sounds like a scene straight out of a futuristic sci-fi movie, doesn't it? The idea of using digital coins mined on your phone to buy a luxury home might seem far-fetched, but with the rapid evolution of technology and finance, it's not as impossible as it once seemed. Let's break down exactly what this kind of transaction would look like if you tried to pull it off today. There are a lot of moving parts, and each step comes with its own set of challenges and considerations. First off, you'd need a truly massive amount of Pi. We're not talking about a few hundred or even a few thousand coins. To reach $1 million price tag, you'd need to have accumulated a significant stash of Pi in your digital wallet, enough to make even seasoned crypto investors do a double take. At Pi's current market value, you'd need well over 500,000 Pi coins to hit that $1 million mark. That's a staggering number, and it really puts into perspective just how much digital currency is required for such a high-value purchase. The price of Pi can fluctuate, so the exact amount you'd need could change from day to day, adding another layer of complexity to the deal. Moving that much Pi in a single transaction is no small feat. It's a massive transfer, and you'd need to make sure your digital wallet and the Pi network can handle such a large sum without any hiccups. The logistics of moving hundreds of thousands of coins at once would require careful planning and a solid understanding of how cryptocurrency transactions work, but that's just the beginning. Next, you'd have to find a seller who's not only willing to part with their million-dollar property, but also open to accepting Pi as payment. While the Pi community is growing, and more people are becoming interested in crypto transactions, convincing someone to accept such a large sum in a relatively new digital currency could be a real challenge. You might spend weeks or even months searching for a seller who's both crypto-savvy and confident enough in Pi's value to agree to this kind of deal. The reality is, most real estate transactions today still rely on traditional currencies, and the infrastructure for large-scale crypto deals is still developing. This means you'd need to be patient, persistent, and ready to educate potential sellers about the benefits and risks of accepting Pi. Once you've found your seller, the next step is making sure the transfer itself is secure and reliable. Sending such a large amount of Pi requires robust security measures to protect both you and the seller from potential fraud or technical issues. You'd want to double-check every detail, from wallet addresses to transaction confirmations, to ensure everything goes smoothly. For a transaction of this size, extra layers of security are absolutely essential. This could mean using multi-factor authentication, working with escrow services, or even involving legal and financial experts who specialize in cryptocurrency. Both parties would need to feel confident that their assets are protected every step of the way, making trust and transparency more important than ever. So, while buying $1 million home with Pi might sound like a futuristic fantasy, it's a scenario that's slowly becoming more plausible as technology and the crypto community evolve. It's a bold vision of what the future of real estate could look like, one where digital currencies open up new possibilities and reshape the way we think about value, ownership, and trust. Before Pi launched on the mainnet, things were a bit different. We used something called the Global Consensus Value, or GCV, to determine the value of Pi. Think of it like a temporary price tag. People traded goods and services using Pi, and the GCV helped determine how much Pi was fair for each transaction. It was like a giant, community-driven price list. But now that Pi is on the mainnet, things are changing. We have real-time market prices on exchanges, which means the value of Pi can fluctuate. This makes large transactions more complex. Security is paramount, especially when dealing with large sums of money. Pi Network has some built-in security features, but handling a $1 million transaction requires an extra layer of protection. Think of it like this. You wouldn't send $1 million in cash through the mail without any security measures, would you? The same principle applies to cryptocurrency. To handle large Pi transactions securely, we need robust escrow services. Escrow acts as a neutral third party that holds the Pi until both the buyer and seller fulfill their end of the deal. Section 5. Liquidity. The flow of Pi. In the world of finance and cryptocurrency, liquidity is a crucial concept that often gets overlooked, but it's absolutely essential for any digital currency to thrive. Let's break down what liquidity really means for Pi and why it matters so much for its future. Liquidity refers to how quickly and easily you can buy or sell an asset, like Pi, without causing a significant change in its price. Imagine you want to sell some Pi coins. If there are lots of buyers and sellers in the market, you can make your trade almost instantly, and the price will stay stable. But if there aren't enough people trading, even a small transaction could cause the price to jump up or down, making it harder to get a fair deal. Think of liquidity like a flowing river. The more water, or in this case the more Pi moving through the system, the smoother and more predictable the current. If the river is full and strong, boats can travel easily without getting stuck. But if the river is shallow or slow, it's much harder to navigate and things can get jammed up quickly. In the same way, high liquidity means Pi can move freely between buyers and sellers, making the whole network healthier and more efficient. For Pi to handle million-dollar transactions or support large-scale business deals, it needs to have high liquidity. This means there must be enough Pi available on exchanges and enough people actively trading, so that big transactions don't cause wild price swings. High liquidity also attracts more investors and businesses, because they know they can enter or exit the market without worrying about losing money to sudden price changes. In practical terms, this means exchanges need to have a healthy supply of Pi, and there should be a steady flow of buyers and sellers. When liquidity is low, prices can be unpredictable and volatile. which can scare away new users and make it harder for Pi to gain mainstream adoption. But with high liquidity, Pi becomes more stable, reliable, and attractive to everyone, from casual users to big investors. Right now, Pi's liquidity is still developing. Since it's a relatively new cryptocurrency, the number of exchanges listing Pi and the volume of trades are still growing. This is completely normal for any emerging digital asset. As more people start using Pi, and as more exchanges add support, we'll see liquidity improve over time. The good news is, as the Pi network community expands and trading volume increases, liquidity will naturally get better. More users mean more transactions, more activity, and a stronger, more stable market. So, while Pi's liquidity is still a work in progress, the future looks promising as adoption continues to grow. Market depth is like the size of the pond. A small pond can't handle a giant whale without causing massive waves. Similarly, the Pi market needs to be deep enough to absorb large transactions without causing huge price fluctuations. $1 million Pi transaction would be like a whale swimming in the Pi pond. If the market isn't deep enough, that whale could cause a tsunami of price volatility. To handle large transactions smoothly, the Pi market needs to grow significantly. This means more users, more trading volume, and more Pi available on exchanges. The world of cryptocurrency is still relatively new, and regulations are constantly evolving. This uncertainty can make large transactions tricky. Governments around the world are still figuring out how to classify and regulate cryptocurrencies like Pi. This lack of clarity can make it difficult for businesses and individuals to engage in large-scale transactions. On the technology side, Pi Network needs to continue developing its infrastructure to handle the demands of large transactions. This includes improving scalability, security, and transaction speeds. For million-dollar Pi transactions to become commonplace, several things need to happen. It's like baking a cake. We need all the right ingredients in the right amounts. First, Pi needs to be listed on major cryptocurrency exchanges. This will increase visibility, accessibility, and trading volume. Second, we need robust security measures like escrow services to protect buyers and sellers in large transactions. Finally, Pi needs to gain wider adoption in the real world. The more people using Pi for everyday purchases, the stronger the foundation for large transactions. The journey to million-dollar Pi transactions is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, development, and the continued growth of the Pi network community. As Pi matures, we can expect to see advancements in technology, regulations, and real-world adoption. These developments will pave the way for larger transactions and unlock the full potential of Pi network. The future of Pi is bright, and the possibility of million-dollar transactions is within reach. By working together and building a strong Pi ecosystem, we can make this vision a reality.